Hi everyone, and we're back with more Sorta Convaleria. So today I want to discuss what banners are potentially coming up in the near future. We currently have Homa's banner up, and that's going to go away a couple of days from now and be replaced with Karis's banner, which has already been announced. And Karis's banner is going to run from December 6th to December 19th. And I know there's a lot of questions of who to summon for. I also know that with the banners changing every 2 weeks, it makes it difficult to decide who to pull for, especially if you're unsure of what's coming up next. I feel that how much summon currency you have saved and how lucky you've been so far will definitely factor into your decisions. For those of us who have not been very lucky, we need to be careful with our summons and how we use them. So in this video, I want to go over some of the important future characters you may want to summon for and their potential release dates. I want you to keep in mind the dates I'm going to say are predictions based on the order that the characters were released on the CN server, so they could make changes to those in the global server. All we know right now is the order that they were done on the CN server, so I'm going to give you an idea of when these characters will be released in our server on the global server if they follow the same order. The character that I see talked about the most in terms of what people are waiting for is Tear. And there's really no question of why. Tear is another tier 0 character that excels at healing and support. Tear is an incredibly valuable unit, not just because he can heal and dispel. Probably the best part of his kit is actually the fact that he has skills that restore energy. I mean, he has a support skill that restores 4 energy points to a target ally, and they gain increased attack, movement, and speed. So he has really powerful support skills, and the energy restoration is huge, especially since a lot of characters have skills that require a lot of energy. Tear provides a great support to those types of characters so that they can spam their skills. Given the high value of energy restore, especially something that restores 4 energy, it's not surprising that people are waiting for this character and want to pick up Tear. So the question is, when will Tear be released? And the truth is, Karis's banner is still not out yet. That's going to come out on the 6th and will end on the 19th. Then there'll be 2 banners in between before Tear. Lulu's banner, which would start on December 20th, and Agatha's banner, which would start on January 3rd of next year. That's the order the banners went on the CN server. So if we follow the same order on the global server, Tear's banner will launch next year on January 17th. In other words, Tear's banner is at least a month and a half away. Again, this is if they stick to the same order that they did on the CM server. And they have made changes in global before, so you never know. But Tear's banner coming out on January 17th is the best guess that we have currently, based on the information that we know. So if you're low on summons and want Tear, you may want to start saving now, so that you have enough to pity him if necessary. Another character that people have been waiting for since the very beginning of global launch is the alternate version of Ra. I think it goes without saying, a lot of people playing these types of games have a connection to the original characters that are the main characters in the story. So when they create alternate versions of these characters, people want them. And the alternate form is a really powerful character. She is a top tier unit. She's a powerful DPS with great sustain and built-in dodge. And in the CN version, her banner was right after Tear's. So if you want both Tear and Ra, you really need to have a lot of summons saved up, because these banners could be back-to-back. So Tear's banner would go from January 17th to the 31st, and Ra's banner would start on January 31st. Which would make sense given the fact that the beginning of February would be Global's 6-month anniversary. So having an alternate version of a favorite character would be the perfect banner to have during this time period. The next character that people have been waiting a long time for is Tristan. This is another character that people have constantly asked about since global launch. Tristan is another top tier 0 character. So I'm sure you've noticed a common theme that a lot of the characters people are waiting for are these tier 0 characters. So in the case of Tristan, she's a powerful DPS character with great sustain and supportive buffs. I do want to note that Tristan performs really well at 3 stars plus, and I believe her signature weapon plays a large role in the amount of damage output that she's able to do as well. But overall, she's considered to be a top-tier burst DPS type of character. So I guess the question is, when can we expect Tristan's banner to come out? The banner was originally run 2 banners after the Raw Alt banner. So if we follow the same pattern, the Raw Alt banner would be on January 31st. We'd have 1 banner in between for Pamina on February 14th. And then Tristan's banner would be run at the end of February on February 28th. So there's actually a lot of characters clumped together that people have been waiting for. Even Agatha and Pamina are characters that people have been waiting for. You know, not everyone is into the meta, not everyone cares about tier lists, some people just want to summon for characters that they want. And honestly, Agatha and Pamina are by no means low tier characters. I think the biggest issue is, the banners last for 14 days, which means the character banners are changing up frequently. So you really have to be careful with what you use your summons on, especially if you want any of these characters that are coming up. You should always keep in mind that the characters are added to the summon pool, so even if you skip them, there's a possibility of picking them up later, either when you're summoning on a debut banner for another character, or if you choose to summon on a rerun banner. And honestly, down the line, there's also the chance or the opportunity for them to be run on rerun banners, so you could always try to pick them up at that point. I personally prefer to put all of my summons towards the debut banners because they have better value. That way, all of my summons are put towards the debut banner characters rather than being split between the debut and rerun banners. But the rerun banners are still an option if you really want the character and the character is specifically uprated on one of those banners. So the next couple of months are going to be quite exciting summon-wise. There's just lots of characters back to back that people have been waiting since global launch for. It's one of those situations where it's both exciting and absolutely horrifying, because I know for myself, I'm definitely not prepared for that. This is probably a great time to start stockpiling as many summons as you can. Make sure you do all of the events so that you can pick up as many summons in Luxite as possible. Make sure you complete the story and Spiral of Destiny if you haven't done that yet. There's lots of Luxite locked in the game and other aspects of the game besides just running events. And honestly, with the holidays and New Year and Chinese New Year and the 6-month anniversary, there's probably going to be a lot of opportunities and events to get more summons in Luxite. And remember, every little bit counts. It all adds up. So collect as much resources as you can so that you can go into those banners in January and February with as many summons as possible. Especially for the characters you absolutely want to get, you should really be prepared to go all the way to pity for those, just so that you don't miss out on those characters. And I just want to note one more time, remember, these dates could change, because they could switch the order up and release the characters in a different order in Global than they did on the CN server. We ultimately have to wait for the official announcements on their social media pages. That is the only time we absolutely 100% know the character's banner is going to be run on those dates. But we can use the information from the CN server as a guide for us, so that we have an idea of when the banners could possibly come out and how long we have to save. So there's a lot to look forward to in the game between all of the characters coming up, the events that are going to be run, the 6-month anniversary. It's a very exciting time. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye.